Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Yes, new me, who is this? A quick story first before I get into today's video. So braids are basically when you have, single plaits. And the last time I had that was when I was maybe 12. And I had like this cute little bob hairstyle. And one of the boys in high school was like, oh my gosh, your hair reminds me of worms. And I was like, oh hell no. I took it out. It's funny what you do when you're kids, but I took it out and that was it. Like, never wanted to wear braids again until I was 17 and I was in the Sugar Babes. And I remember we had a video called Round Round, and my cousin came in from Manchester, and then she gave me cane rows, like going all the way back, and I really loved that style. But then I just don't think I ever went back to it. Well, actually, I know I just didn't go back to it after that. I just kind of got this complex where I was thinking, I don't know if it will suit me. And I was so used to doing wigs and weaves, and then by the time I wanted to do it, I really enjoyed like rocking my natural hair until I came to Canada and had to work out 4 to 5 times a week and also have to deal with the heat, the humidity of the summer. So I was just like, no, I'm not like dealing with this every single week. Like, I can't do it. And also she did baby hair, which I cannot do myself. And truthfully, I really wanted to jump on camera like today before it got messed up, and I couldn't redo it again. So as you can see by the title of this video, I'm gonna be reacting to Leigh-Anne Pinnock's Race, Pop and Power. And Leigh-Anne had contacted me last year and kind of wanted me to be a part of this documentary with Alexander Burke, Ray and Neo. And of course I was really proud to be a part of it. I'm just sharing my story and hearing the girls' story and their experiences. We've all had a completely different ride, but in a lot of ways very similar. And so I really felt like I could contribute a different perspective. As you guys know, I'm in Canada, so I wasn't able to actually watch the documentary. Now, as usual for my reaction videos, I'm gonna be watching it off a laptop here. Okay, cool, let's go.
Please welcome one of the most successful girl bands in the whole wide world.
Nearly 10 years ago, my pop star dream became a reality. But sometimes, I felt I was being treated differently to my bandmates because of the colour of my skin. As a child, the only time I ever experienced racism was one time at primary school. A boy handed me a note that just said, "Name Leigh-Anne, age 9, from the jungle." Winning X Factor and becoming a pop star was everything I ever wanted. But before we'd even signed the record deal, things started to happen that now feel a bit off. I was 20 at the time, and I guess a bit naive. Looking back, it's clear my colour was being used to define my image within the group. Then there was other stuff that started to happen, which made me feel different to the other girls. And there were some fans standing waiting for us, and I was the first to kind of walk up to them, and they just walked past me. I went to the other girls. Like, it was so weird. It was never like someone racially abusing me.
Because we have 3 mega fans.
It's just like little things that happen regularly.
So, right, first, which member of Little Mix are you most like?
I'm more like Perry. Jade. I'd say Jessie, because she's got a really cool, like, an edgy style.
It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
All of these little feelings. Can I just say, I've never experienced that in terms of, like, I know that Leigh-Anne has mentioned before, I've seen even before the documentary where she would talk about, the fans maybe like treating her differently and stuff. I feel like the fans, the Sugar Babe fans, have always been supportive of me, to be honest with you. And I've only had a really good experience with them. The only thing that I can recall actually is a lot of the times they were hesitant to approach me and to approach Mattia, and they would be like, oh, can I have your autograph? I think I was so used to the narrative about my character by that point that I just was maybe inwardly like sort of annoyed. I will say thank you to the Sugar Babes fans, for the majority of you guys, for always making, you know, things feel very equal when it came to performing and stuff, because I can only imagine, you know, how that must have felt for her.
For the next decade, I was in a pop bubble with all the success I'd ever dreamt of. I'm in the biggest girl band in the world. I have a fiance. We have a lovely house. It's like, what have you got to be upset about? But all of that stuff doesn't matter. Pushing myself constantly to do better, because I just wanted to be on that same level. In March 2020, we flew to Brazil to do a show. We landed, and from that moment it was Leigh-Anne, Leigh-Anne. The crowd going mad for me, and I was like, what? Like, I've never seen or heard anything like it. There was so many black people in our audience, and I have never felt that love. So you're both mixed race. Yeah. I mean, did you say you identify as black?
I'm black as far as I'm concerned. Okay. We grew up in a black culture, so therefore we listen to black music, we cook West Indian food. That was a culture at home. It was a West Indian house.
But I've always said that I do identify as black. Like, I don't really bother saying mixed race.
Because even if you're mixed race, you're not white, you will suffer from racism. So,
I mean, you do identify as black?
Yeah, you don't like to be identified.
I like to identify myself as John Pinnock.
I felt lost, invisible. What was your initial thought? Like,
at the time, I thought to myself, Leigh-Anne, toughen up, get yourself together. You're in a good position, get on with it.
You would all say that to me. You would be like, look where you are, you're still earning the same money, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But oh God, I'm gonna get upset.
Oh, don't cry, Leigh-Anne.
Come on, let it out.
Come on, yeah. Oh, come on. Come on.
I was carrying a lot, like, never ever feeling good enough. And I feel like it ruined a lot of my experience, which should have been the best time of my life. And my situation is minuscule compared to what is actually going on in this world, like, to black people.
There comes a point in every black human's life, no matter how much money you have or what you have achieved, you realise racism does not exclude you. You learn to understand you can't be seen to be too loud or too opinionated, otherwise you're deemed a diva or aggressive. Our reality is, no matter how far you think you have come, racism exists. It exists in sports, in the creative industries, in politics and policies, in the streets and in the hearts of racist individuals. We are no longer in a position where we need to be quiet on this matter. Thank you.
Oh, Lord, the eyes are watering. I've got so much admiration for her, because had she had not spoken up, she just allowed a lot of us to come forward and to be brave.
Unconscious bias are unintentional, deeply ingrained, and we all have them.
One blast from the past who got in touch was the choreographer for our first Little Mix video, Frank Gatson, who was Beyonce's creative director. We were just in rehearsals, and it was quite a militant way of working.
Nobody needs to help you but your
We were also nervous.
You understand?
And he just turned to me and he just said, you're the black girl, you're gonna have to work 10 times harder.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't really understand it at the time.
So in the early years of the Sugar Babes, when there was ever a situation where there was a fallout or any squabbles, anything like that, I remember I would instantly get into trouble. I wouldn't even really be asked so what happened? What was your side? It would instantly be punishment, straight away by being yelled at or whatever. But I really felt like I didn't get a chance to sort of explain myself. And when I was younger, I was a little firecracker as well. So I think that I know that I didn't have the tools to like sit down and calmly explain. It was either explosion of tears and shouting. And it's so funny, I was speaking to Ron Tom, who it was the Sugar Babes' first manager. And by the way, Ron is black, shout out to Ron. And I said to him, why did you always just tell me off? Why is it that you never gave me a chance to like hear my side of the story? Why were you always so hard on me? When you used to tell me off, you used to say to me, you're the black girl. I remember my first day singing in the studio, or my first week, he said to me, I was singing, and he was like, that was shit, do it again. And I never really remember him speaking to Monsieur Chabon like that. And I remember it really broke my heart, and I felt to cry, but I was like, you have to be tough. And I just felt this instinct that I needed to be tough and to just like basically sing through it. And I was like, I was barely 13. He said, because you were the black girl, I just felt like I needed to be more stricter on you because of the fact that I wanted to prepare you. I knew that you were going to be the one who would have to work the hardest. And I understood what he was trying to say, but what's so interesting is that the contrast was the way I was raised. My parents never ever said that to me, never said you're gonna have to work hard, hard because you're this. They would just affirm me and support me in whatever it is that I wanted to do. And I totally don't hold anything against him because, I definitely understand it was more from a protector type of stance, I guess.
I just want to know why you felt like you had to say, I would have to work harder because I'm the black girl. What was you kind of thinking at the time? Like, why did you think it was so important to tell me like that?
I just saw myself. I saw the little brown girl sitting over there, really nervous. Like, it's a white world, and I got to make her know the secret. We got to be the best. We got to walk right. We got to sing right. We got to work right. We got to, the choreography better. We got to do everything to be the best that we can be. Because for so many years, people always look at us as less.
I thought it was a little bit rude because I didn't understand it. And I think I nervously laughed like, huh? It's just crazy how it was so alien.
Yeah.
Because I've never ever been told that. Like my parents never ever said to me, you're gonna need to work harder. Like they never ever brought my race into it. I found out for myself. Keisha from the Sugar Babes sent me a voice note.
Hey sis, I just want to say I'm super, super proud of you. You're an inspiration for your fans. You're an inspiration for me also.
Some people don't realise that they are being racist, and I think that people don't realise that they have racist thoughts or ideas, but they've been conditioned to be well, black isn't beautiful.
One thing that's actually comes to my head right now is being told to bleach my skin. Being told that I'm too dark to be in the industry. I'm going cold talking about it because I really actually don't like talking about it.
Okay, that was crazy. When Alex said that, the audacity for me to tell someone that they need to bleach their skin. And then I started thinking about my own experiences. I was told during the period of my departure from the group that the world didn't want to see any black pop stars. The world doesn't want to see a black pop star. If you've never really experienced outward racism, your confidence is very, very different, and your identity is very within yourself, and how you feel about yourself is very strong. So when someone comes along and they come and you're 26 or 27 and says something ridiculous, I was like, what are you talking about? It almost slid off me, and I didn't realize how dangerous and cruel and mean those words were, especially from someone who I considered, a business partner, someone who I considered family even. I've actually forgiven the person, but I do feel like it's important to take accountability. And that person, you owe me an apology. And actually that's all I ever wanted, was an apology.
And that's what makes me feel at times where I go, I don't want to be in this industry. They took my confidence away so much that I couldn't be me.
By the way,
brown-skinned girls black girls can sell records. Yeah. That's because it's been proven.
Yes.
They're kind of being brainwashed to think, no, this is what works. And she's like, oh, so we're just going to ignore Lauryn Hill or Mary J. Blige, or, oh, we're just going to pretend that whole era didn't happen. Yeah. What really hurt me or broke my heart in this situation for Alex is that I grew up with so much representation, as I said. There's like an entire generation of successful Black artists that have been almost forgotten about, which is crazy to me. How can you forget about Mary J. and Lauryn Hill? And there was Brandy, Aaliyah, Monica. We had shows like Sister Sister. Even on TV at the time, you had The Real McCoy, which was a Black show in the UK. We had Desmond's. You know, in terms of girl groups and Black girl groups, there was SWV, there was Cut Close, there was Brownstone. There was so much representation of girls who looked like me. So I never ever once felt like it was an impossible dream to achieve. And we talk about light-skinned girls versus dark-skinned girls. Even in that, Brandy was selling more records than all the light-skinned girls at the time. Black people were so successful. And it just seems to me, we came out of the early 90s and early 2000s and gave jobs to people who had racism and underlying colorism in these seats. So they almost imposed their own prejudice on us. And so we have an entire generation of young people that are growing up with thinking that they're not good enough. Kids, young people, seriously, go on Google and do your research. Success is attainable when you are hardworking, when you are talented, and when it's meant to be. I don't know if many people know, but I didn't actually leave. I was replaced while still being like in the band.
Didn't know that.
And I remember being sat down and I was basically told, you know, this person feels bullied, that one there feels bullied, this one. And I was like, I was giving that one a foot massage legit like the day before. You know, if I had an opinion, you know, it was very much like, okay, you're being a bully. That's nothing compared to like the actual real story. I was just as confused as everyone else. There is a whole backstory, which I'm not trying to light up the internet right now, so I've never been a clout chaser. Anything I ever will say or have said or whatever, I could always back it up with so many receipts, but I don't think I'll be able to sleep well at night, even if the person or people were in the wrong, knowing that everyone was turning on them. That's not my ammo at all.
If you see an independent, strong Black woman, all of a sudden you are an aggressive woman, you're overconfident, and nobody wants to talk to you.
Because I visually don't look Black, I can hide it. And I've been hiding it.
If you had like a couple of white managers like in a room and they wanted to throw someone of color in, of course, being mixed race, the more you look like a white person is more acceptable, palatable. I don't know if this is a compliment or not, but you were chosen for your Blackness.
Black women, dark-skinned women, if I'm being brutally honest, are not seen as physically attractive.
You're pretty for a Black girl.
Yeah.
Or you're not as loud.
There's so much pressure, and I feel it as a lighter skinned woman, so I can't even imagine how it feels for you girls. Like,
I shied away for such a long time to talk about just the experiences of just being a brown-skinned Black girl, because my experiences have been very, very different. I think that when you're in the industry, especially from a young age, when you've had a particular amount of success, you are sheltered from the normal things that people go through. And some people might be shocked to know this, but I've never experienced colorism. Because I hadn't experienced that, I always tried to not really speak about it because I didn't want to be insensitive.
I'm so sick of people seeing it as, oh, can't say that, better not say that. Like, come on, let's just do it. There's a problem, let's address it. Let's all address it together.
I'm a fighter, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Wow. I know that Leigh-Anne is gonna win so many awards for this, and she truly deserves it. This was powerful. So guys, thank you so much for watching today. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel and switch on your notification bell so that you know exactly when I'm dropping videos. And please remember that we get better, not bitter. Peace.